We're going to do a chicken and sausage gumbo. I have a beef and jalapeno sausage, some chicken thighs. Of course, every gumbo has to have rice. So I've prepared the rice already. I've made a little bit of, this is Cal Rose rice, short grain rice, ready to go. We got some freshly ground pepper. Let's get all of them up here. Nice, rinsed, skin on. I'm not going to include the skin. I'm going to eat the skin after it gets nice and crispy. I'm going to pull the chicken for the soup, okay? So, just a little good, little fresh ground black pepper on there, okay? Both sides. I don't know about you, but I don't like one-sided tasting food. So you want to make sure you season both sides. Okay. Fresh ground pepper, black truffle salt. It's very fragrant. It'll add a lot of good flavors to it. I don't know if you've had truffles before, but truffles are good with just about anything, especially potatoes. Fry some in some potatoes, good stuff. Okay, truffle salt. Okay, so that's all we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to have, so I got a little extra skin that's flapped out. I want to just spread those out onto this rack. You don't have to have it on a rack, it'll work good, but without a rack, but it'll grease and drain off of it and keep it nice and crispy. So we're going to throw that into the oven. That'll probably take, oh, at least 45 minutes. 45 minutes to an hour. At 400, should be about 45 minutes. So I'm getting ready to chop up some onion and celery and bell pepper, otherwise known as Trinity. Okay. When you want to do a dice on celery, for those of you who don't know, just cut them lengthways like that. Chop them up good. I'm going to get my vegetables prepared first before I start my roux. So I got my bell pepper here, just one green bell. I just chopped the ends off. Okay, a little bit more on that. Chop the ends off. Okay, this is good for dicing. This had the stem on it. Just take the stem out. Okay, and then go lengthways on here, and then go around, cut the inside ribs out. Okay. Just be careful when you're pulling the knife toward you. Okay. There we go. And then we'll cut that into a more manageable piece. Alright, now we're going to do a dice. So, got those stacked too, so it doesn't take me as long. Okay. Cut them into ribs. Ribs that way. Then we're going to line them up. And we are going to then do the dice this way. Okay? So, see that? Okay. So, just keep your fingers out from under them. You'll be alright. Alright, so, got a dice on that. Okay. Then on these end pieces, you can just go another dice. Okay. And I'm going to have more than enough bell pepper here. You want equal amounts. That's about right. About that much celery, just a little bit more bell pepper. That same amount of onion. Okay. Yellow onion. I already took the outer layer, yellow skin off of it. Still got the butt right there. So when you do a dice on that, you want a butt side to up the top, going half lengthwise like that, okay? Alright, then we're going to do a dice on this. Do the same on the other half. Now, okay. Alright, that up. Now that's going to give us a proper amount of ratio. Like I said, so you want 1 part onion and then 2 half parts each. So you got 1 part onion, half celery, half bell pepper. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to plop 1 garlic in there. Yeah, and then squeeze it out of there. Another one. Squeeze it. Another one. Squeeze it. Okay. Nice minced garlic. Easy, quick. And I'm going to use a combination of extra virgin coconut oil, okay, and an extra virgin olive oil and canola oil blend. I'll do about 2/3 to 1/3. The reason why I use coconut oil, smells like coconut, it's good, is just for the health reasons. It's supposed to be very healthy for you as a fat. So I'm going to put about down here. About that much it is. Olive oil, I'm going to use about a 1/3 of that bottle. Okay? That's about right. So we got it on high. Now what I want to do with the roux oil first is, here's my flour, is I want to bring it up to almost to the smoking point. When it gets good and hot, then you can start to get the good browning of your flour or your roux. So here I am stirring it. You can see that. See that on there? Okay. So I got just enough to where it's a little thin. It's not too thick yet. Okay. But you just gotta constantly stir it. I mean, it's on medium high right now. Okay, still stirring the roux, and you gotta really see how I'm doing this. I go across the bottom, back and forth, go around to the edges, because them corners of the pot, it'll burn if you don't get around them corners. You gotta get the whole bottom. Okay? You don't have to go real fast. Just gotta make sure you try to get all different areas so that there's not a burnt spot laying on the bottom there. Okay? What you might want to know is this is very, very hot. It's like atomic hot, blast furnace hot. So you got to be very, very careful when you're stirring. I'm getting down to the brown stage. It's not still, like I say, we want to go down to mahogany, close to chocolate color is what we're going to do. So this is nice and getting brown. I'm not going to use a whole beer in this, so you got to have a drink of beer while you're doing this to pass the time. So for this amount, probably going to use like 1/4 of a beer. So the rest is to enjoy while you're standing here stirring and stirring and whisking and stirring. And so you can see it's getting thicker too. As it gets as we get hotter, it's getting thicker. So okay, I'm getting close. The color is getting pretty much the chocolate. And once you get down to that darker brown stage, it is going to get dark very quickly. I've turned down my heat. Actually, I can turn it off now. I turned it down as I got close to this stage. And now I'm going to add half of my other ingredients. I'm not going to put the garlic in because that's going to burn if I put it in right away. So we're going half. This is going to give flavor to your roux. Okay? This is going to bring flavor to the roux. You can see the liquid of the vegetables are coming out. Okay? Now I'm going to add about half of that beer. Okay? I'm going to add several dashes of the Crystal hot sauce. That's good. And some of the Worcestershire sauce. They're about the same amount, equal amounts of Worcestershire and the Crystal hot sauce. Alright, so once you get to that point, then you're going to look and see how your consistency is. I've got a good consistency. What you're looking for is a wet sand consistency. And that is pretty close to a wet sand consistency. And you can see just partially from the beer, it got a little darker. I've got a pan for this to go in because this pan holds the heat good and you don't want it to burn. So right at this point, I'm going to transfer it into a cool pan. Okay. So you can see here, you see that good? Alright, so brownies. Look at that. There's a pan of hot brownies. Ready to go with vegetables. But yeah, it's in here, it's done. All that's in there. The Trinity is cooking in here. Okay, so this is our roux base. This is the base of your gumbo. Okay, now we can let this cool. I can freeze it. I'm not going to use all this. For this, going to be enough for maybe 4 different gumbos. It's really good. It's worth the work. So if you want to surprise somebody with some good gumbo, do it. Okay, here is our crispy skin chicken thighs. Temperature right on the bone is about 165, and the skin is extremely crispy. Ooh, it's hot. Ooh. Mmm. 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 That is pure candy. Mmm. Mmm. But let that cool. Then pull the chicken off. Get that ready. Chop up some of my sausage. Right there. And then we're going to make our gumbo. We'll have our roux done. Rice done. Vegetables chopped. Ready to go. Chicken. Beef and jalapeno. Chicken stock over there. Alright, we've got everything ready to go here. I've got my stock nice and hot. You want it warm. Okay, then we're going to add, what we're going to do is add a little oil, a little butter to the pot. Got my pot heating up here. Get the knife. Alright, so I'm going to add a little lob of butter to that. A little bit of olive oil. Just enough to sweat the Trinity. Got our Trinity here. And add that. Alright, we're making our gumbo. Okay. So we want to just cook our Trinity down, get it sweated. Okay. Start layering flavors in here now. A little bit of layering of the flavors gives you more depth of everything that you do. If you wait and season everything at the end, it's just not the same. So I'm going to do a little bit of actually my my homemade Creole seasoning. You can just use the Cajun seasoning. Okay, I'm going to season up Trinity with a little bit of that. Okay, got my high heat spatula. Sweating them down. We're going to warm our roux up. Our roux is our thickening agent. It's what thickens the flour and the oil that we've cooked together. And we flavored that roux with the Trinity, the beer, the hot sauce, the Worcestershire. So it's a flavored roux, and we're going to be cooking that and bringing it back up to temperature. That's stuff. Now I'm going to add a little bit of my roux. And I know this by experience. I'm going to do like I'm probably going to do a little less than a gallon of gumbo. So I've got that in there. Got the roux in there. Gonna rewarm it. Did a little more than that. Okay. A little bit more. Okay. We'll start off with that. Our roux is still a little warm, so it's not going to take too much longer. Okay. Use about a fourth of it. Maybe I'll use the rest of that. There we go. It's in there. It's in, getting hot. And like I say, with the rest of that roux, I'm going to package it into 3 pieces there, put them in a little plastic bag, put it in the freezer, and then I can have them for the next time. Okay. Okay, that roux is getting hot. We're going warm, hot into hot. Okay, and I'm just going to add a little bit of time, and I'm going to start to get a mitt. Okay, going to add a little bit of time, stir it to where it gets smooth. Once it's smooth, add a little more. Stir that in. Now, with anything with the flour, once it comes back to boil again, that's when it'll be thickened the most it can be. So I am actually putting less than I want right now. I want it to come up to a simmer, come up to its full thickening ability, which it already is starting to simmer. There. Okay. Now after it's simmered, it's going to be, whatever I add is going to thin it down to more than what it is right now. Okay, that's pretty thick. So I'm just going to add the rest of my hot stock. Okay. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to just let that simmer for a while. Okay. We're going to be cooking out the flour, even though it has been cooked for a long time. When we were making the roux, it still has a little bit of a flour flavor to it, and you want to simmer it for a little while to get that flavor out. Okay, that flour, that raw flour flavor out of it. Okay. Now some gumbos call for tomato. However, I do not like tomato in my gumbo. I like it in my Creole sauce. Creole sauce is similar to this, but not with a dark roux. More tomatoey. Shrimp Creole, you might have heard of. But we're going to let that go, kick up the heat a little more, bring that back up to simmer. It shouldn't take too long because that stock was hot. Okay, other seasonings that we will be adding to it is some of the same seasonings that we've had in there already, and we're going to put a little more of the Crystal hot sauce, good Cajun Louisiana hot sauce, just a few of those. A little more of the Worcestershire, a little Liam Perrins. Okay, it's starting to simmer now. A little there, because I know it needs it. Okay. Alright. Oh yeah, looking good. Now, one of the main things you have to do, you have to taste. You have to taste it. So, we'll get a little spoon. Oh yeah, that's just the right thickness. Just the right thickness. Okay. Alright. The seasoning has dissolved in there. Let me recheck the seasoning again. See how nice and dark that is? See? Not really super dark, but it's a nice brown color to it. Oh, that's good. That's just about right there. Okay. Now we're going to add our chicken. And then all of the sauces. I actually sliced 2 of those sausages. Yeah. Nice sausage. We're going to let that sausage sit in there, get it reheated. Okay. I put the rice in a glass, in a rock glass. Coated the sides of the rock glass with butter and the bottom with really good butter. This is our Calrose rice. I'm going to microwave it for, let's say, 45 seconds. Okay. I'll put a little bit of our gumbo in here, like this. Okay. And I'll plop my rice into that. Okay. And now I'm going to add a little more of the gumbo around the sides. Some of that sausage in there. Nice chicken thighs. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm just going to garnish that with some green onion. Freshly chopped up green onion. And that's good to go. Get my spoon. And we'll do a taste. See how it is. So, get a little bit of that rice, some of that chicken, some of the sausage, some of that green onion. The green onion really makes a difference. Okay. See. Good. That is some good gumbo.